Okay, so, turn into your table of contents, and we are going to start on page, I think are my numbers not, I don't think my numbers are right. Are my numbers wrong? Let's see. Are we on page 41? Sorry. I meant to go back and change them and I forgot. All right. So everybody should be on page 41. All right, so our standard for today is we have to be able to create dot plots, histograms, frequency tables. We have to be able to do line plots, okay? And we've seen most of these in our core bites when we've looked at number 5 before. And I have typed your focus statement up here, okay? And I'm going to show y'all because I'm also showing the people at home. Because the people at home are going to have their packet, it's going to have a staple right here in the top, okay? Because I went ahead and cut your paper so they'll fit in your journal. But, so I didn't want it to get lost in the packet, I stapled the two papers together. So when you get your paper, what are you going to have to do? Tear it apart, okay? Or take the staple out, however you want to do it. But you're going to have to take your two papers apart, all right? All right, if you look right here, we're going to tape these a little bit different because I did these notes a little bit different. And you've got your focus statement up here at the top, and that goes on the right, and then histogram and stem and leaf go on the left, okay? So tape it that way in your journal. Let me take it in mine and I'll show you. All right, so when you tape it in, it needs to look like this, okay? Okay, I've taught this lesson several ways as I've taught it through the years, okay? And what I have found most effective in teaching this is giving you the steps for one and then doing an example, okay? You know, typically we do all of our notes on one side and then we do all of the examples on the other side. You know how we've usually done that in our notes? Well, this is one lesson that I've tried that and it didn't work out very well, okay? It works a little bit better if I've got the steps and an example. The steps and an example. Over here, the steps and an example, the steps and an example, okay? It just works out to be a little bit better. It works out to be a little bit easier for y'all to follow, okay? So that's how I did it this year. It's the same way I did it last year. So the first one we're going to do, and we're only going to focus on one at a time, okay? And they're all pretty self-explanatory. Most of them are very easy. Two are kind of tricky. But these two over here are very easy, all right? So, a line plot. The first thing we have to do is put our numbers in order from least to greatest. So, we're going to use this data table right here, okay? So, I'm going to write my numbers right up here at the top, and we're going to put them in order from least to greatest. So, on your paper, just right up here, above where it says use the data, you write a number, mark it out so you know you don't use it again, okay? You don't want to use the number more than one time. A good practice, you can see that I've marked out all the numbers in my data table, but I also counted. 3 times 4 is 12, so I should have 12 numbers up here, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Just to make sure that, yes, no doubt, I've got all the numbers up there. So, what does number 2 tell us to do? It says, draw a number line. Be sure to include the lowest and the highest numbers. So right here, I'm going to draw a line and I'm going to use my little tool. And if Justin's watching, he's going to be so excited that Miss Bird's line is absolutely straight. And our number line must include the lowest and the highest. So what's my lowest number? 0. So I've got to have a 0, and my highest is what? 6. So I've got 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Number 3 says, label our number line. Okay. If you look in the parentheses right here, if you have a highlighter, I want you to highlight this, okay? It says, remember your interval. What is an interval? Anybody know what an interval is? An interval is when you count by something. So, you count by 2s or you count by 3s. So you count 2s, 3s, 5s, 10s. So if you've counted by something, make sure that you didn't go 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 9. You can't just put the numbers that you have up here. You've got to count. What did I count by? What's my interval? 1. I counted by 1s, okay? If I counted by 2s, I would have 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Whatever you count by, make sure you count by that number. That you don't just add numbers in wherever you want to add numbers in, okay? All right, number 4. Place a dot or an X to represent each data value. So what I'm going to do, because we have our numbers in order, how many zeros do I have? 2. So you go above the number line, okay? Do not put the dot on the line, okay? Very similar to the box plot, you've got to go above. So put the dot here, 1, 2. We have 2 zeros. You can put an X if you prefer to put an X. Sometimes when I'm writing with a pencil, because the pencil lead is thin, I'll put an X, okay? Just because it's easy. Because I can make my little tool bigger up here, it's easier to put a dot. How many ones do I have? 2. So I'm going to put 2 right there. One on top of the other to show that I have 2. How many 2s do I have? 3. 1, 2, 3. How many 3s? 1, 2, 3. How many 4s? 1. How many 5s? None. How many 6s? 1. Yo, that's it. Okay? That's all we have to do. Now, usually we do label it. And what is the label for my number line? What is this? What does this tell us? The number of siblings. What's a sibling? Like your sister or your brother. All right, I want a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you think that's easy or hard. It's pretty easy, right?
I accidentally did a box plot by accident.
Girl. That's okay. All right, a frequency table. I'm going to tell you, most of y'all have probably done a frequency table before. You've probably called it a tally chart, okay? When you've counted something, you put the little tick marks, crossed it out when you get to 5. Who knows what I'm talking about? Yep. Okay, we've done that before. So, guess what the first step is? Guess what's always the first step? Number your data from least to greatest. Huh?
That's a lot of numbers.
That is a lot of numbers. So, let's do... I'm going to write mine right here. I think I'll have enough room. Let's see. 2, 6, 8. Oh, I forgot one. Doggone it. All right, when you put them in order, you should have 18 numbers, okay? If you count all your numbers, you should have 18. number 2 tell us to do? Decide on an interval. What's an interval? What we're going to count by. Okay, so we've got to go from 2 to 93. What would you like to count by? 4. Girl. That means we're going to go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Or you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. How many groups are we going to have? We're going to have a whole bunch. How about if we count by tens? You guess? What does number 3 say to do? Make a T-chart. So, y'all, this is what a T-chart looks like, okay? It looks like a lopsided T, okay? Our interval is going to go over here, okay? And then our tally marks are going to go on the right. Justin should see what happens when I don't use the tool. Justin, do you see what happens when I don't use the tool? My lines are all wonky. Okay, so we're going to have 1, 2, 10. And y'all, when you are doing an interval, please count on your fingers. I know you think I'm crazy, okay? So if our interval is 10, we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, okay? What's our interval? 10. Can we start with 0? If we started with 0 and went to 10, what would our interval be? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11. Is that what we wanted it to be? Nope. All right. 1 to 10. So what number comes next? 11 to 20. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay. 21 to 30. 31 to 40. 41 to 50. 61 to 70. Oh, we should have gone by 20s. Would y'all rather go by 20s? It's going to be a long list. Okay, let's change our interval just because we don't have enough room. Are y'all going to kill me if we change it? And y'all, sometimes you have to do that. It's not that big a deal. So if we go 1 to 20, what's the next one? 21 to 40, 41 to 60, 61 to 80, and 81 to 100. Can y'all see my numbers right there? Can y'all see them good? Okay. All right, now, we made our T-chart. We put our intervals on the left side. What does number 5 say to do? Put tally marks. So, We've got 2 goes here. And y'all, I'm going to mark it off, okay? Because I'm done with that number, all right? 6 goes here. Mark it off. I'm done with that one. 6, mark it off. 8, mark it off. 12 makes the 5th number. So what do I do when I get to the 5th number? You cross the 4 out, okay? Like this. Does everybody see? Y'all have done this before, right? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 12. All right, 20. I have another set that I'm doing here. So how many numbers are between 1 and 20? 5, 6, okay? 23 goes here. 24, 28, 30, 36, 46 goes to the next group. 55. Then we're on to 61 because we got 68, 70, 70, 71, and then 93 is our only one that's in that last group. Okay? Does everybody see that? Oh, oops. I'm sorry. I don't know what I did. Let's see. There. Better? That one didn't work out. Okay, so if I were to ask you, how many people have family members, or let's see, how many family members are aged 61 to 80? How many are there? 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many family members are aged 1 to 20? 6. How many family members are aged 41 to 60? 2. Pretty easy to read your data that way, isn't it? All right, now we're going to get to the tricky part, okay? These two, I want a thumbs up or a thumbs down or a sideways if you think you can do these pretty easily. Dot plot and a frequency table, all right? And we're going to keep working, okay? Let's look here. Histogram and stem and leaf. Histogram is a little more challenging, okay? How many people have ever seen a bar graph before? Y'all, this is very similar to a bar graph, okay? A histogram shows your frequency. It takes this data right here and puts it into a bar graph form.
I thought we already done something.
We have done histograms when we've talked about on our core bytes, okay? We've done histograms on core bytes. So over here, what does step 1 say for us to do? What's step 1 say? Make a frequency table. Guess what we've already done? We're going to use the same one that we've already done. We're not going to redo another one, okay? We're going to use that same one. Number 2, tally the numbers. We've already done that. Now we're going to label our x-axis with our intervals, okay? So let's see. We've got okay. This is where it gets a little challenging. I'm going to do my frequency you see how this right here, this grid, I'm going to do every 3 little boxes. Do y'all see that? Some of you have very tiny writing. Some of you can write it this way. I keep this on the eraser. Some of you can write it long ways, 1, 2, 20, and be able to fit it all. Some of you are going to be like me, and your handwriting is going to be bigger, and it's not going to fit. You're going to have to turn the way you write so that it fits this way. You've got 1, 2, 20. Okay, and I'm just going to show you that I'm going to stop right here. Okay, does everybody see that? But I'm going to take that back off. Just to make it easier to see. Let's see. That's hard to see, isn't it? Let's see if I can fix that. Sometimes the board doesn't like it when I write in a different direction. And then I'm gonna go 21 to 40. Let's see. Make sure that you are, let's see, 3, and then 3, and then 3, and then 3. Does everybody see how I'm doing that? Or however wide you want your bars to be. So let me do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Then I've got 40. Oh goodness, that won't work. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 41 to 60. 61 to 80. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then 81 to 100. And then over here is going to be these are our ages down here. And this is our number of people. So we're gonna have, I'm gonna give you 1 second to finish doing that, because when I write the opposite way on the board, it really makes it look sloppy. I'm sorry. Yep, see, Ayana's writes really small, so she can fit hers on there. I knew some of y'all did. I don't. So my writing is too big for that. All right, now we've got 1, 4, 2, 5, and 6. So what can my interval be on my y-axis? Can I count by ones? Yeah, okay. So because my writing is big, you can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or I'm gonna skip a line just because my writing is big. So I'm gonna skip a line 1, skip a line 2, skip a line 3, skip a line 4, skip a line 5, skip a line 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, that works. Yes. Yes, perfect. Perfect. All right, now let's look right here for number 5. Number 5 says draw your bars for each interval. Please take your highlighter, if you have one, and highlight this part. Bars must touch. Bars must touch. Do the bars in a bar graph touch? When you make a bar graph, do your bars touch? No. Okay. This, they touch because you have intervals. Okay. It's not different categories, it's different intervals. So I'm going to, again, use my little tool. Because it's harder to do up here than it is on your paper. I want you to put your pencil down. I want you to watch me for a second. Okay. So how many family members are aged 1 to 20? 6. So I'm going to start at the bottom. Remember, I'm going over 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to go all the way up. And I don't know why that's green, to 6. Let me fix that. Okay. So I'm going to go all the way up to 6. Well, that's okay if it's green, because I'll show you. That's fine. I can do it. So I want you on your paper, and you can make a line all the way to 6, and then make your line down, and then shade it in just a little bit. You don't have to shade your box, all right? You can leave your box. Oh no. Let's see. No. Y'all, this is about to drive me bonkers. Just forget it. Mine needs to move over a little bit, but I messed up when I... Yep, that's better. All right, how many people are 21 to 40? 5. So I know that my bar has to touch. So I'm going to be at 5, and I'm going to go down to where my 40 is, okay? And that one, I can't change it. I'm sorry. Give me a minute and I'll change it in just a second. But you can color yours in. How many are 41 to 60? 2. So I'm going to go up to 2. 1, 2. Oh my gosh, how did it go back to green? How many are 61 to 80? 1, 2, 3, 4.
I think it's better with the green though. It's better to see.
I agree. And that's why I wish that other one was green, but it's not. I don't know how to fix it. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we have one person who is 93 to 100. So, let me see if I can. There we go. There you have all your bars together. Pretty easy, right? Now, this one's tricky. A lot of times you will get a question that says, what is the interval of the histogram? Okay? And anytime you are asked the question, what is the interval of the histogram? And tomorrow we're going to do a lot of practice, okay? A lot of practice in reading histograms, reading all of these type of data tables, data displays. And every time, listen to me, y'all. We are not in kindergarten. We are not in first grade. But this is one thing I always want to see you counting on your fingers, okay? Every single time. I want you to count on your fingers, okay? If you don't count on your fingers, you're going to make a mistake, okay? If it says, what's the interval of this histogram? Most people would say 19. Why would they say 19? Because 20 minus 1 is what? 19. It's what most people are going to do. But just a minute ago, we counted on our fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. What's our interval? 20. So you have to count on your fingers, okay? Don't think I'm crazy, but you do. All right, the last one is stem and leaf plot, okay? And I've given you this data down here. So what is our first step for a stem and leaf plot? Order them least to greatest. So do it above right here. Oh, I did it for you. I forgot. I was nice on this one because I knew this one took so many of your brain cells. I remember now. I was nice on this one. All right. Number 2 says, decide what place value will be the stem and which place value will be the leaf. Okay. So I'm going to go here because I want to show you when we are, because it's hard to see down there at the bottom of this. When we are creating a stem and leaf plot, it looks like the T of a frequency table, okay? But this is the stem, and this is where you put your leaves, okay? Now, y'all, we've had this on Core Bites before. How many people remember it? Because over here, you have a what? You have a key, okay? Our numbers this time are 15, 16, 16, 22, 23, and 35. So we want our stem, we only have 2 place values. So our stem, in this case, is going to be our tens place. So we have a 1, we have a 2, and we have a 3, okay? Because we've got, let's see, 15, 16, 16, 22, 23, and 35. And what we are doing is we are using this tens place. 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, and 3. Okay? But I just need one of each number. All right? So I've got 1, 2, and 3. Now, my leaf is going to be what's in the ones place. Okay? So here I've got 5, 6, 6. So what I'm going to come over here and do, for my 1, I've got a 5, a 6, and a 6. So if I've got 1 and the big line and a 5, 1 big line 5, what does that equal? What number is that? 15. 2, I've got 2 and 2. What are my ones place? 2 and, so what am I going to write over here? 2 and 3. And what's my ones place for my 3? What goes here? 5. This one's the one that can be kind of tricky. It's tricky to make and it's tricky to read, okay? But just like any map that you look at online, any map, many of you are not from, y'all don't have paper maps in your car anymore, but your key of your map tells you the distance something is, okay? Some of us have the GPS in our car, you know, the map that's in your car, and it tells you your guide, your scale, okay? Your key, that's what that is. All right, y'all, this was a lot of stuff today, okay? A lot of stuff. But it's all in how we display our data. We can, and I'm going to try.